Hey y'all, hope everybody's having an awesome day, blessed day, positive day, getting some money some way. Happy New Year to y'all. It is currently 2023 and 2023 is going to be for me. Make sure you claim it. Make sure you claim it. I want to kick off this new year with this video because I think it's important for me to share this story. If you were on my last YouTube channel, I shared this story before, so you probably heard it before. So I'm going to share it again because I just think it's just so important for people to understand that if you can change your mindset, you can literally change your life, okay? A few years ago, back in like 2012, I was in a fucked up place in my life, okay? I was a broke bum bitch, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You know I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm gonna be honest now. I was a broke bum bitch. I was completely broken, okay? And I'm not just talking about my pockets, but me as a person. Like, I wasn't a good person. I know I wasn't a good person, you know? I was a hater. I'm gonna be for real. You know, when you in a fucked up place in your life, you begin to blame everybody. You begin to hate on other motherfuckers. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I was just in a broken place mentally in my life, okay? I didn't have no car. My credit was messed up. I didn't have no place to live. The only thing that was holding me was that I had a job. I had a 9-to-5 job, okay, which saved me, literally, okay? One day I was in a club on a Wednesday night. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in a club on a Wednesday night. Now I used to go to clubs all the time. I was a club head. Like I used to love the club. Like I go to the club by myself. You know, I know the DJs, I know the owners, I know the promoters. I just used to love going to the club or whatever. But this particular night, I went to the club, drove my homegirl car because of course I didn't have a car and I was staying at her house. So I drove her car to the club that night. Wednesday night, knowing damn well I had no business being in no club on a Wednesday night. I had to get up and go to work. But I was in this club on this Wednesday night, rolling my little weed. I hit my blunt and I started looking around and I'm like, these the same motherfuckers in this club every time I come in there. So what that make me? One of the same motherfuckers in the club every night. And I was just sitting in there in a trance and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in here. Why am I in here? Like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I can't keep living like this. That was the moment when I realized that I needed to change my life. Standing in the middle of the club, hitting my weed, thinking to myself, why the fuck am I here? And my life is chopped and screwed. My priorities is not in the right place. So I wound up leaving the club early. I go back to my friend at the time, her house. And she had a big house. And I go into one of her empty rooms. Now, I could have slept in her bed or her guest room like I would usually do, but I went into one of her empty rooms, but she didn't have no furniture. I grabbed me a blanket, grabbed me a pillow, and I went and laid on the floor. I pulled up my credit report off of Credit Karma. I made a Credit Karma account. I pulled up my credit report, and I looked at all the shit that was on my credit. Now, y'all know, like I know, if your credit is chopped and screwed, you getting things is not... It's not going to be easy. It's a hard process. Ain't nobody going to trust you with a crib, a car, a loan, or nothing if your credit is, you know, fucked up. So I was looking at all the things that was on my credit and I started writing things down or whatever the case is. I had old apartments. I had credit cards. I had just a whole bunch of miscellaneous shit on my credit that was holding me down that I had a 504 credit score. Like, what am I doing? I'm at a club and my credit is just below average, bitch, okay? It's below. It's under sea level. You hear me? So I'm looking at my credit and I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? So I said, this got to change. Now, I had some money saved up or whatever, but it wasn't a lot. But all I knew in my spirit, something in my spirit kept telling me, Nisi, save your money, save your money. And I didn't know what I was actually saving my money for, but something in my spirit just kept telling me to save my money, okay? So I went on Craigslist and I began to look for apartments because in order to get your shit together, that's got to be the top priority. You need a home of your own. That way you can start really focusing in on yourself, okay? You living at somebody else's house and this and that, it's just too much, you know? So I knew I couldn't live like this no more. This had to end, like ASAP. So I wound up finding a few apartments or whatever the case is that really wasn't looking for, like, you know, credit check or whatever. And so the next day, I think it had snowed a little bit or it was like icy on the road or some shit like that. So I asked my homegirl, you know, to take me to work or let me drive her car. And she told me no. So I'm like, at this moment, I'm like, now I'm starting to reevaluate the bitches that I'm around. You know what I mean? Like, how you not... You know what I'm saying? How you not gonna try to help me out? You know I need to get to work. Like, I'm depending on my job for survival right now. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I was like, yeah, it's time for me to really isolate myself. So I wound up having to call one of my exes to take me to work or whatever the case is. And I knew I had to get rid of him ASAP because I ain't want nothing to do with the nigga. I was just using him to get back and forth to work, you know? And so I'm at work and I wound up calling some apartments, and I wound up getting in touch with this couple that owned a condominium like off of Old National or whatever the case is on the south side. And so I told them I wanted to come look at it, and it was like, yeah, come look at it, you know, tomorrow or whatever the case is. And I'm like, bet. So I wound up going to look at it. They wound up letting me get the apartment. They were a real nice couple. But when I moved in, I asked them one particular thing. I asked them, can they keep the lights on for me just for a little while until, you know, I start stacking my bread, right? So they kept the lights on for me because I owed Georgia Power like $2,000 from some bullshit I was doing. some fucking bounced ass checks from a last apartment that I had. So I started to put my money in a certain order where I'm not going to buy a bed or a mattress until I save up a certain amount of money. I'm not going to pay my light bill until I save up a certain amount of money. So that was really my focus and my goal then, right? So I get to work. I'm working like a Hebrew slave now. Like I'm spending all my days at work. And, you know, when you with certain friends and around certain people, they still want you to be in that certain type of lifestyle that I wasn't trying to indulge in no more. And so after I cut my ex off, I wound up selling my cell phone, which was the iPhone 5 at the time, I think. I wound up selling my cell phone, and I kind of went MIA, you know what I mean? Because now it's grind time. Like, I'm completely zoned in, so focused on my shit, like getting my shit in order, you know what I mean? Like saving my coins up, getting my shit in order, right? I didn't have a lick of furniture in my house. I didn't have no bed, no mattress, no nothing, because I was waiting to save up a certain amount of money. Like I told you, something in my spirit kept telling me to save my money. I would go to work when the sun was coming up. I would leave work when it was pitch black dark outside, right? And so after I had to cut my ex off, because he was my transportation back and forth to work, I realized I had to take public transportation. And it was so, I felt like I had hit rock bottom because I never had to take public transportation, especially in Atlanta. Like I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. Like my pride, you know what I mean? Like I really had to swallow my pride because at this time I had to do this on my own, you know what I mean? Like I had to really come up on my own. And so I wound up figuring out the public transportation back and forth to work. Now I stayed on the south side, but I worked in the city, so the commute would be an hour and a half long for me getting back and forth to work. But I ain't care at this time. I'm like, I gotta do what I gotta do, you know what I mean? So I don't have no phone. I'm MIA. I cut ties with the people that I was hanging around and everything. So I decided to go to Barnes and Nobles one day and, you know, pick some books up because I'm on the train, I'm on the bus. I need something to occupy my mind because I don't have a cell phone. I don't have anything. Can't nobody get in contact with me. So the first book I wound up picking up was this book right here. This book is Instructions for Happiness and Success. This was the first book that I picked up and I started reading. And I would read this book on my way to work and on my way home from work. And it started to put me in a different mindset, okay? Because in the book it was talking about, you know, how you need to be happy regardless of the circumstances, basically, that you're in. And so I began to find happiness in what I was doing. Like, now my mind started to, you know what I'm saying, come to a certain place and a certain level, like, I'm doing this shit, you know what I'm saying? So I started to get excited for myself and become happy for myself, right? But when you're going through that change in life, God has a way of saying, you know what? I'm about to bring you all the way to the bottom. This is not it. I need to bring you all the way to the bottom to see how you would take this. You know what I mean? Why am I going to Chicago? It was in January, so you know it's cold. Here in Atlanta. Why am I going to Chicago for my son's birthday or whatever? And this time when I went to Chicago, I'm in a better spirit. I got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming up. Like, I'm coming up. You know, the come up is finally happening. And so I go to Chicago, spend a shitload of money on my son's birthday or whatever the case is. I'm looking healthy again. I'm not looking like I'm on drugs. Like, it's just something was different about me when I went to Chicago that time. And I flew home and it was raining and it was cold outside. And I remember walking home in the rain. It was so cold. And I'm like, I can't wait to get in the house and warm up. Get into my house, flip the switch, and the lights was off. And so at that moment, I was like, damn. They said they would keep the lights on for me as long as they could. So I can't be mad at it. But damn, you know what I mean? Because now my lights is off. That means I can't cook. That means I don't have no heat. And that means I don't have no hot water. Okay, so I left out, walked to the dollar store, got me some candles, called the weed man. Don't forget, you got to call the weed man, because once you hit that blunt, everything is okay, okay? Called the weed man, you know, got my little sack or whatever, went in the house, lit my fucking candles, rolled my weed, hit my shit. I felt good. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, man, whatever. I'm just still grinding because I haven't got to my quota yet that I was trying to reach before I actually paid to get my lights turned on. Because something in my spirit kept telling me to save my coin. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cut my lights on. Forget it. Every day I woke up, I had to, first off, I had to take cold showers. You know what I'm saying? Go out in the cold, go to work, and act like nothing was ever wrong. You know what I mean? And then I began to find happiness in this. It was more like such a crazy solitude that I was in. I can't describe it, but I began to be even more happier. I began to feel more blessed. I stayed in the dark for 40 fucking days. That's a month and a half. A month and a half, right? So I decided to finally buy my bed frame. I had my bed frame during the darkness because I wanted to buy a bed frame because I saved up a certain amount of money, but I didn't have a mattress yet. So I was sleeping in the middle of the bed frame every night. Every night. I'm talking about in the cold, y'all. In the cold. Happy, excited. I started feeling gratitude because at the end of the day, I was still in my own place. I had a job. I had money. I was able to eat. You know what I mean? I was able to get back and forth how I wanted, you know. I started to feel so much gratitude within myself, and I began to be happy, and I bought more books, and I would read, and I would indulge my mind into happy things and positive things. I'm not on social media. I stopped posting. I don't even know what was going on in the social media world because I didn't have a phone. So during those 40 nights in the dark, it just taught me so much about just meditation. That's when I began to practice the meditation and sitting still and really becoming one with my mind and starting to change my mind frame on how I was thinking. So then it was time. It was time for me to get another phone. I wound up going to T-Mobile right when I was about to pay my lights, right when I was about to pay my light bill. I wasn't planning on paying my light bill that Friday, but I got my phone on that Monday. This is how God comes in and changes my life. Went to T-Mobile, got my phone, went to work, and I'm at work, and a guy comes in, and he had a lot of money on him, and I asked him, I said, why you got all this money on you? Like, you know, and he told me, he's like, oh, I was picking it up from my apartments, picking rent money up from my apartments and my houses. I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, I got some right down the street from where I work. And I said, oh, okay, I might have to come look at some. But at this moment, I wasn't thinking about moving or any of that. All I know was I had a shitload of fucking money. I had a shitload of money, but I wasn't thinking about moving. You know, I'm just finally, you know, buying furniture, and I bought a mattress, and I'm just getting up off the goddamn floor. I'm not thinking about moving. So he said, come look at it. So he gave me his card and told me to come look at, you know, apartments and houses and stuff that he had. So I said, okay, but I didn't go right away. So the next day at work, he came back in and he said, I thought you was coming to look at, you know, one of the apartments or whatever. I got a whole bunch of empty ones and a whole bunch of houses. I said, okay, I'm gonna come after I get off of work. Mind you, still didn't really dawn on me that here's my blessing. This is my blessing. So when I got off of work, I called him and I wound up taking a bus to, you know, where it was at or whatever, because of course I still didn't have a car. And I saw the apartments, and I'm like, oh shit, these better than the ones I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And it's right next to my job. I love it. I want it. I need to move because I wanted to move from that side of town because I was just really done with that side of town. I really didn't want to be over there no more. Because remember, once you change your life, you got to start changing your environment as well. And so he wound up showing me this house. And I remember going in this house, and I'm like, I love this house. I want this house. He said, okay. And then he was like, well, fill out the paperwork or whatever. And I said, are you willing to sell this house to me? Now, I don't know what in my spirit, I don't know what in my spirit made me ask this man that. But all I knew was I had a shitload of money saved up. And he said, I'll sell it to you. He was like, and you can pay me mortgage. I got that house. I got that house. My lights wasn't even on at my apartment just yet because I was about to pay the bill. But instead, God said, you know what? You changed your life. You changed your mindset. So I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. Oh my God. When you want a blessing in your life, right? You got to be a good person to receive those blessings. And this is why a lot of the times when we begin to try to speak things into existence and that sort of thing, or manifest, or it don't come true because we're not good people to receive it. Like if I was asking God to help me and I'm steady going to the club, I'm steady hanging around the same type of people or whatever the case is, that blessing would have never walked into my life at that moment. You get what I'm saying? I still got the house to this day, along with other properties that I have. And because I decided to change my mindset, because I began to fill myself with gratitude, even though the circumstance and the situation that I was in was at the lowest of the lowest, I still found happiness in it. Okay, I still found gratitude, I still found joy in it. Okay, and because of that, God said, you know what? It's time. It's time. I'm about to bless you. And he blessed me. And my life after that had changed, and it went so far up. Like, I've been winning ever since. Because I knew how important it is to have a positive mindset. I knew right then and there the power of the mind, the power of the tongue. You have to be careful the way you use your words. You have to be careful on the thoughts that you have. Like when people be hating on other people, or that they downing other people on social media, or leaving nasty, rude comments. You know, all I can think of is their lives is not where it need to be. They're going through some things in their life. Because I once was there. You know what I mean? I once was there. I once was in that fucked up mindset. And if you don't change your mindset, man, nothing in your life is going to change for you. I am a witness. Glory be to God. Glory, glory. Oh, I got goosebumps on the back of my neck. Nothing in your life will change if you don't change your mindset, people. And I'm here to let y'all know, man, like, ever since then, I've been on the up and up. I've been coming up ever since. I've been in my bag ever since. Then I began to get more money. You know, got my license situated, got different cars. Now I'm flipping Benzes. You know what I mean? Now I'm going on trips. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm able to pay for my son college tuition, wherever he want to go, whatever he want to do. I'm able. And there is no better feeling than being able. So if you're in a process in your life that you're trying to change, you got to change who you are as a person first. I promise y'all, once you do that, everything else in your life will fall into place, and you'll look back and look at yourself like, damn, that was me. Like, that's how I see myself. Like, people were like, oh man, she the same person. I know her. You don't know me. I don't even know me. I don't even know me. I don't even recognize me sometimes. Because I'm like, wow, damn. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I really did that. But I'm still changing every day. I'm trying to become a better person, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally. And I know a lot of the times we have so much baggage, emotional baggage in our lives that came from when we were little. I know what my trauma came from when I was young. We'll get into that in another story, but I know that A lot of that came from when I was young. So I know I had to heal. I had to heal that person. I had to heal that little girl within me. You know what I mean? I had to make amends with my mom. I had to forgive my mother. You know what I mean? I just had to come to a place in my life mentally where I was mentally strong and capable to handle anything that God ever throw my way. But you know what? All he been throwing my way is blessings, because I'm a good person to receive it. I hope everybody continues to enjoy their day. Remember, this is 2023. Don't let nothing stand in your way. Brush that devil off and keep moving. Love.